If you're going to pass on assets to your kids, make sure you have instructions for them on how they should handle these assets and exactly what they should do with these assets. You have to really teach and preach if you're going to pass down assets, because you don't want to set up your kids to have a good ass year and be broke. Welcome to the Pruden Channel. Subscribe to my thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
Basically, Pruden.
How can one make sure that their kids are taken care of when they pass away?
I mean, everyone's always going to say, get your life insurance. Life insurance is a fantastic tool to ensure that your children are taken care of when you pass away. So is investing. Of course, if you had investments in the stock market, or if you had real estate, or if you had any investment passed down is excellent for these kids. So life insurance, investments, right? But it doesn't just stop with the investment, right? You have to pass down assets, of course, but if you're not passing down the education along with those assets, you're just setting them up to have a good year, and then they're going to be screwed. You can blow $20 million in a year. You can blow, and granted, whose insurance policy is $20 million? If we're talking about $1 million, man, you give me a weekend, I could blow $1 million. It's not hard to blow money. So you have to pass down the education. And if you're going to pass on assets to your kids, make sure you have instructions for them on how they should handle these assets and exactly what they should do with these assets. I mean, you have to really teach and preach if you're going to pass down assets, because you don't want to set up your kids to have a good ass year and be broke. You don't want to do it. And it would just be an abomination to see something like that happen. People blow fortunes all the time. They say generational wealth lasts on average 2 generations. Real generational wealth. We're talking $20 million, right? It's passed down to someone. After 2 generations, everything's gone. It's all gone. And that's not really based on, them blowing it. Well, if it is, but it's really because of the lack of education. They weren't taught how to handle that money. And I'm talking teach them exactly what to do with the money. Instruction. This is what is done. But again, you can't force someone. Or I don't know if you can. I don't know if a will can control what's done with the money going long term. But it's easy to blow $1 million. It's easy to blow 10 million. 10 million will give you 3 good years if you really wilding out. But you have to pass down the education. And if you have a life insurance policy and you yourself don't know how to handle money, the money's already gone. It's already gone. So we have to teach, if we're going to pass down any assets, we have to teach the kids on what to do with it. And they're never too young. I'm going to start mine as a baby, literally a newborn. Telling them about crypto and stocks and real estate. Telling them what to do with the money. So then when he's older, he can say, I remember as a baby, my dad told me what to do with it. I mean, of course he won't remember, but I'm just saying, instill it into these kids. They're never too young to talk about investing. Like, as a kid, investing was never talked about to me. I first learned about investing when I was in the 10th grade, and there was a teacher at the high school for law enforcement and public safety called Mr. Sachs, right? And he stood up and said, kids, I'm going to tell you all how to make $1 million. And I'm a natural saver, so my ears perked up. What's he about to say? And he said, invest $100 in the S&P 500 every month from the time you are 18 to the time you're 65, and you'll have $1 million. I said, what? $1 million is that easy? He said, yeah, the S&P 500. Now, I didn't see anyone else say anything to him about this. They didn't ask him about it, but I went home that day And I went to my mom and I said, Mom, I know how to make $1 million and you need to do this now. And she said, well, how? I said, invest $100 in the S&P 500 and you will be a millionaire. And she said, okay. I don't think she knew what the S&P 500 was. And I didn't either. But I just knew I knew how to make $1 million. So I had a journal. I wrote, invest $100 in the S&P 500 when you turn 18. And then when I got my first cell phone, I put it in the notes section of that phone. Invest $100 in the S&P 500 when you turn 18. And every phone after that, I transferred it over. Because, phones didn't transfer data over back then. And I would type it in. Invest $100 in the S&P 500 when you turn 18. And when I turned 18, I didn't invest in the S&P 500. I should have, though. But I started when I was 23. And it wasn't that it's not a problem that I didn't do it at 18. It's the fact that this man planted a seed that I never let go of. And I've always wanted to thank him for that. I don't know. I believe he still teaches, but I'm not sure where. But he planted a seed that I never let go of. And I just always kept it in my mind that I can be a millionaire because I was told the instructions and I know how. Now, my parents didn't teach me about investing, but hearing that in 9th grade or 10th grade planted something that it started a fire that could not be extinguished. So I always appreciate that, Mr. Sachs. Definitely. Check this video out and subscribe if you see it. But definitely appreciate that. I definitely owe a lot to those words. Those words stuck with me. Still do stick with me. And I don't think anyone else in the classroom caught on. But when I heard that, I said, oh, wow, I know. And it's simple. And basically when he said that, that's what hit me. It is simple to make $1 million. Invest in the S&P 500. When he said, I'm going to show you how to make $1 million, I'm prepared to hear a list of 150 different things. He told me one thing. And that's all I needed to hear. I said, okay, I'm going to tell my mom and we're going to get this $1 million. So plant the seeds, man. They last forever. They may not listen right away, but eventually they'll pick it back up like I did. Yeah. Pruden.